What happened? What's going on, everybody? It's your observant lineman, Uche Nwaneri. And say it ain't so. J. Ram wants out of Jacksonville. Jalen Ramsey wants out of Duval. He's asked his agent, David Mulugeta, told ESPN's Shill Schefter and Chris Mortensen on Monday that he asked the Jaguars to trade his client. League sources also told ESPN that the Jaguars have had talks with teams and are asking for at least one first-round pick, but would like more than that in return for the two-time Pro Bowl cornerback. This is bad. This is bad for a number of reasons. One, obviously, as a Jaguar, having one of your best players, if not currently the best player on the roster, asking to be traded, that's a huge hit for the Jags to take. Now, obviously, there was a situation between Doug Marrone and Jalen Ramsey on the sideline during the Houston Texan game. But, those kind of situations where you have a blow-up on the sideline between a coach and a player, they're not that uncommon. It happens. And when it happens, usually sit down in an office the next day, man to man, talk about your issues, and get the things settled and squared away. And go back to work. Go back to playing ball. But Jalen Ramsey does have a bit of an ego and a bit of an attitude that is well documented, and that can actually, sour a relationship between an organization and its best player. And it seems that is exactly the case here. It says Ramsey yelled at Marrone as he walked by on the sideline, and moments later, players and coaches had to get between Ramsey and Marrone near the bench. Now, again, not totally uncommon. And when it happens, usually players and that player and that coach will have a private conversation before they go to the lengths of, okay, it's just not going to work. And I would like to think that Jalen Ramsey, being on the kind of defense that they have, even though they've been underperforming a little bit, they had a good game against the Texans. They did a good job shutting down that high-powered offense. But they started the season slow with Kansas City. And obviously with the loss of Nick Foles, the offense hasn't gotten, much traction without him out there. And maybe that has a little bit to do with some of the frustrations that he's having on the defensive end. But this is apparently the first time that his discontent with the team has spilled over into the public. He and fellow teammates Tashawn Gibson and Devon House were unhappy with the way they were used during the 2016 season. Ramsey was a rookie that year, so nobody cares what you're talking about, rookie. Shut the hell up. But Ramsey also was critical of the team's defensive calls in the fourth quarter of the AFC Championship game against New England after the 2017 season. Ramsey, the 5th overall pick in 2016, also wants a new contract. He said in the offseason that the team wasn't going to get a hometown discount after they told him they were not going to work on a contract extension for him this season. Let's see here. Marrone said Monday that the team wasn't going to discipline Ramsey. He downplayed the sideline incident, which was caught by CBS cameras, in which Ramsey yelled at Marrone because he was upset that Marrone did not challenge a completion to Texans receiver DeAndre Hopkins. Look, from me to you, Jalen Ramsey, you're going to sully your reputation as a player. We all know that you're a fiery player. We all know that you like to mix it up, and we know that you like to talk. That's been well established. But when you get into a argument with the coach, that's one thing. But when you start demanding to be traded right after that, you're now setting your reputation up for failure in the league. Look at Antonio Clown. His reputation is dog right now. And he also is, we don't know what's going to happen to him. He could be out the door any minute, depending on what's going on with this second accusation of him allegedly committing sexual assault. But this is a worrying trend that we're seeing here in the NFL. It started with Antonio Clown and his antics in Oakland that ended up ended up going to the New England Patriots. And of course, with the way that the Miami Dolphins team is getting blown out, you have half the squad demanding to be traded over there. And now in Jacksonville, you have one of the best cornerbacks in the NFL who now wants out of Jacksonville because of an argument. I mean, what happened to being a leader? What happened to, rallying the troops and getting your own shit in order before you start pointing fingers and start demanding to get out of there? When things get tough, you don't look for the exit. I thought that's how football was played. But right now we got a player who has unbelievable talent, who has has the right on the field attitude in terms of his aggressiveness and playing to win. But now things get tough. Things don't start off the way you guys want after 2 games, and you want out of Jacksonville. To me, that means you don't have the mental toughness. Because we've had, Maurice Jones-Drew, one of the best running backs to ever play in this era of football. He had times where he wasn't happy with what was being called on the field. He had times where he got into arguments with the coach on the sideline, but he never once asked to be traded. Never once asked to be traded. Because that's not how you handle things if you say you're committed to a team. If that's what you say and that's what you mean, you don't go looking for the exit when things get tough. But Marone downplayed that entire exchange. He said those things, they happen all the time, and they do. This is not a situation where this is some kind of rarity where you have a player just going crazy on the sideline and now he wants out. These type of things happen. And, Marone is right. It's going to get a lot of heat when it happens publicly. People are going to talk about it. But at the end of the day, like I said, if you're a man, if you're dedicated to a team, and you've worked your ass off to this point, just because things aren't going the way you want, you don't look for the exit, bruh. You don't look for the exit. And even your coach is willing to downplay it because he knows that in the heat of the game, in the heat of the moment, things can get a little bit tense like that. And that's fine. You guys sit in the office, man to man, hash out whatever issues you may have, hash out whatever miscommunications you may have, voice your displeasure. Nobody's going to get mad at you if you're sitting in the office with your coach and telling him, look, that was some bullshit. You should have challenged that catch. He's not going to get mad at you for that. He's going to respect you because you brought it inside in a private setting and you did it man to man, face to face, and you'll get it hashed out and you'll try and move forward on it. And then, if things down the line can't be reconciled or if you feel like it's just not gonna work, then you go back to the office and you ask for a change. You don't have your agent out here publicly acknowledging to people that he wants you to get out, that you want to get out of Jacksonville. So for me, I look at this and, I put 50% on him because you as a player, you need to batten down the hatches, rally the troops, and play ball. Everything's not going to always go your way, but that's out of your control. You don't control what gets challenged and what don't. That's the head coach's job. Your job is to play. All right. Let's continue on here. He said, I think now they're a little bit more publicized, but ever since I played, there's always stuff that goes on during the course of the game. I know when I was a line coach, they didn't see a lot of them. Though, because no one was really in on them. But those things occur, and it's a high-intensity profession. There's a lot of emotion that goes on. He's absolutely correct. We knew it was going to be a tough game, going to be on the road. We wanted to match the intensity with the Texans coming off that tough loss that they had, and we were all jacked up. Marone said he did not speak to Ramsey about the incident either after the game or Monday. Ramsey left the post-game locker room after declining to speak to the media. The players had Monday off, but will be back in the building on Tuesday to prepare for Thursday night's home game against the Tennessee Titans. Ramsey was guarding Hopkins on a 3-yard completion that converted a 3rd and 2 late in the first quarter. What, in the first quarter? You want him to challenge something in the first quarter? Man, grow up, man. What the hell? Ramsey immediately jumped up and signaled incomplete toward the Jaguars sideline and wanted Marone to challenge the play. Marone didn't, and Ramsey was irate when he came to the sideline after the Texans took a 3-0 lead on a 39-yard field goal. Dude, you are acting like a little man baby. Are you serious, Ramsey? 3rd down conversion, 3-0. Just play ball, man. Play ball. That's an all-pro receiver you're going against. All-pro receiver. Even if you thought he didn't catch it, if they don't call the replay, hey, he made the catch. Keep playing. This guy, I mean, come on, man. Ramsey stormed past Marone, and cornerbacks coach Tim Walton wrapped his arms around Ramsey and guided him to the bench. Marone came over to the bench and exchanged words with Ramsey for safety Ronnie Harrison and strength conditioning coach coordinator Tom Mislinski got between the two. Harrison walked Marone away. Marone said Monday that he went to the bench to tell Ramsey to calm down and focus on the rest of the game, as he should, being the head coach. Wanted him to move on from it. Marone said, I mean, that was over plays ago. Move on from it. Let's go. We've got a long way to go in this game. Get that behind you. And that just goes to show that when you allow players to be divas like they have with Antonio Clown, to just act out any way they feel, when you allow that to happen, other players of that same caliber feel like that's okay. This is a younger guy. So he feels like, seeing how AC acted, he can go and act the same way if they get on his bad side. So the problem there is that he doesn't have a veteran, an older, long-standing player who has that kind of respect from the team, who can walk over to him and tell him to sit his ass down and play the next play. Because what we're always taught in football is that regardless of the play, good, bad, or indifferent, turn the page, next play. Because it doesn't matter. That play is over with. Go on to the next one. Who knows? Maybe, you get an opportunity at a pick 3 plays later. You don't know that. That's why you got to get your mind off of what happened and keep your mind in what's happening right now. So we'll see how this plays out. I'm disappointed after reading this. If everything that's in this article is on the up and up, I'm disappointed in Ramsey, because as a competitor, you should know you're going to win and lose some. And when you lose one, you can't let it sit in your mind. It's going to eat away at your ability to perform in the present, thinking about things that happened in the past. Get your mind out of the past and get it on the present. Focus on what's going on now. And if he doesn't have the ability to do that, then maybe we don't need him in Jacksonville, because we're trying to rebound and get back to that level of play that we had in 2017. And it's not going to get there with the cat over here acting like a little diva and wanting to get traded because he gets in an argument with the coach over a 3rd and 2 in the first quarter. Grow up, you man baby. Catch y'all on the next video. Peace.